Well, hello everybody. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. Uh, we've got some good books in store for you, and we're going to be joined by Jambo here pretty soon. As soon as I give him a link, but go around the bend and tell everybody how you're doing. Start with Paulo. Paulo, tell everybody what you're doing.
Oh, I am trying not to fall asleep, but I will be showing a few books, and then I got in store a collection of covers from French Marvel comics from the 1970s and 80s.
Fantastic, Captain. How are you doing?
Not too bad. I have a bunch of I got a lot of books here based on science fiction and horror movies that also became comic books. So I'll be showing a lot of that. I mean, I don't know, man. I got and a lot of I don't even have any comic books here actually.
That's quite all right.
Just the books that eventually they became comic book titles. Some became comic book titles, or they had some adaptation from these books. So that's what I'm going to be showing here. And I got some other books here on fandom, comic book fandom, the origin of comic book fandom, and mail order mysteries from the comics.
Fantastic. Dr. Silverage is in the cheap seats watching from a safe distance tonight. Jackson Roy Kirk is here. I've got that book. I'll be showing that later. Bronco, he's over there in Israel, still doing good. Jambo wrote earlier, said he wouldn't make it, so I didn't bother to send him a link. So I just sent it to you, Jambo. I thought he was going to be busy with his usual, out in the neighborhood, robbing little children of their candy, whatever he does. And all right, I guess we're ready and loaded for bear. Yeah. I will. And Eric, what are you up to? I forgot to mention Eric.
Realizing that the books that I'm showing tonight can't be Kevin Bacon to comics, but I'm going to show the versatility, the diversity of the four-color fossils tonight.
Fantastic.
I love
Fantastic.
Hey, don't let me forget the Man from U.N.C.L.E. Books that I got. I forgot last time.
Cool. Steve has his tail is out again. So.
Yeah,
I know, that's so weird, man. The cat in the hat, I don't know.
Yeah.
Jambo, I've been saying nice things about you while you've been gone. So
I heard. Yeah. I robbed all the kids last weekend with the Halloween candy, or the weekend before. I can't remember now.
That's right.
That's what you heard on the air, but you usually heard the things he said about you off the air.
No.
I'm sure they were all super nice.
They probably were.
Sure,
I don't even remember. I'll start us with a few comic books because most of our fans are tuning in for that, which is perfectly fine. I recently got this nice little guy from working at my comic store, so it didn't cost me anything.
Nice.
And the reason there's a little roughed up spot there, but it would have been $2, but I got it free. I love how they all can't stand Supergirl, and one of them, if you can see, it says "Go up, up and away." So interesting there. Here's a nice Beetle Bailey I worked for. Nice old Dell. You can see the old Sergeant Snorkel look. And
that's cool.
Taking it easy. I love the back covers here. You don't often get to see those. So if you're watching at home, you can freeze that and read that little joke. And I couldn't believe this. I got to get this too. It's a Jerry Lewis with the Flash.
Oh,
That's
Oh, that's cool.
Captain Cold.
cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that. Yeah, that's very cool.
I got a kick out of that. And in honor of Jambo joining us, I'm going to show a bondage cover.
Yay.
So here you go.
Ah, what a tease. What a tease.
As you can see, Rusty's been in trouble again, so Ren Tintin had to tie him up. Now, I just wonder where I'm going to put this Ren Tintin. I'm going to put it in my new super duper Ren Tintin box.
Cool. It's all right.
Very,
And,
very nice.
I've been inspired like AFTA, and he does that with his books. So I've been doing it here lately. I've been using magazine boxes. Here's going to be my Weird Western Tales.
That's cool.
Mhm.
That's a good idea, though.
I'm taking it probably too far. This is my my old Walt Disney comics.
Haha.
Are those
Nice.
17-inch short boxes?
No, these are magazine.
Oh,
And I like magazine because sometimes I'm storing gold, silver,
Yeah.
and bronze, and a magazine can hold more.
what about
Here's my-
17 inches long? Aren't they? Or 18 inches long?
I don't know the exact dimensions.
Well, they're
Those
not long
come handy.
boxes. They'll kill you. They'll give you a hernia.
What else?
26-inch long boxes will give you a hernia for sure.
Here's my Fantastic Four.
That's
My
sweet.
oldest is number 6, so this is where I.
Is that a photocopy of your cover?
No, mine's not as pristine as that one, but I figured it can't hurt to have the nicest. My Gold Key Mighty Samsons will be in this box. And just a couple more. I don't want to bore you guys to tears too much. My Journey into Mystery.
That's
Of course,
cool.
My oldest is number 16, and I'm just like a little kid having too much fun. My Donald Ducks will be in this.
Oh,
Somebody's having fun.
Somebody's got a clown doing a drive-by or something.
I forgot to shut my phone off. Damn it.
Who's calling?
Oh,
Ozo.
a lady friend of mine. A friend of mine.
Oh, there you go.
Uh-huh.
Oh, just a friend. So, Rigor Mortis is in the house.
What's up, Mr. Rig?
And Branko Bear.
Joe, I wonder what would be getting commented if Black Cat were here right now after that one.
All right. By the way, Steve was good enough to send me a lot of these Thongor books because I was reading the Marvel adaptation. I just finished this one, Steve.
Okay.
Spoiler, 3, 2, 1. If you don't want to hear it, Thongor gets married. So how about that?
That's the
Yeah,
marriage issue.
And I've just ordered the one that goes before these other 3 you sent me.
Oh,
So
sweet.
I'm going to be reading them in order.
Nice.
So tonight's episode is books, and so we're going to be book heavy and comic art heavy. And I don't know if Paulo is ready to show us some good French art, but if you want to, take it away.
I wanted to start with get the books out of the way before I do the French comic art.
All right.
And I'm going to start with something different. So I have here 2 media guides from the 24 Hours of Le Mans race, 2006 and 2007, which are 2 of the years where I did reporting directly from the track for my newspaper.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, these are about 200 pages, and they feature information about the circuit. This is the
Wow, look at
this is
that.
the track. Yeah, and then about the technical regulations for the cars. Then we have a lot of information on the teams, but no, and then pictures of the cars that took part in the race,
Oh, that's cool.
and then a lot of statistics. So the rest is text. But if we wanted to do stuff, and in the back you see every car that won Le Mans since 1923.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, unfortunately the detail is a little bit small, but
You can see the evolution of the vehicles.
yeah. Speaking of cars, is another book I've got. It was cheap. The Illustrated Directory of Sports Cars. One of those things that you can get in bookstores for people. Oh, I have a friend who likes cars. Let me get him this book for Christmas. And it's actually got a nice list of cars here with pictures, like the infamous Bricklin SV1 from 1974, marketed by the same person who brought Yugo to America.
Oh no!
The Yugo, yeah.
I remember that car.
Yeah.
You go where I go.
Or the things that are more recent, like the Lamborghini Murcielago.
Wow.
That's a car.
So there's a little bit of everything here, going from the Nash Healey, the Porsche 911, several examples of Ferraris. Here, let me show you one. It's always good. Ferrari is always good to watch. Although I'm a Porsche guy. Porsches are for people who enjoy engineering. Ferraris are for people who need a penile replacement. but this is nice. This is a Ferrari 275 GTB. And unfortunately, with this book is a bit thick, so you have to bend it to see the photographs. Okay, now something more familiar to comics fans. A book analyzing the history of Star Trek.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
This was a bit woke, even though it was before woke was a thing, because it implies there's a lot of colonialism in Star Trek. Was Superman a Spy, which is a collection of articles which were published in comic book resources across the years.
A spy.
It's a series of anecdotes about comics. Not only was Superman a spy, but where does the Charles Atlas ad come from, and legends about the Hulk TV show.
Oh wow!
So there's a lot to read here, and it's light reading. You can take it to the beach and stay there for a few hours, and you'll get done with the book. Here's something that I found. I had completely forgotten I had this. A book where you can learn about Windows 3.1.
Holy
Yeah, I don't even remember where I got this.
Yeah, we're already at 14, ain't we?
Mm-hmm. Okay, now another book about comics. Wortham Was Right by Mark Evanier.
I have that. I have that book. It's a great book.
I've seen that. Oh, it is. Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great book. Great book.
Yeah.
And Wortham was right. He was.
Mm-hmm. Something a little bit different that I've also had since I was a kid and I never got rid of. The Children's First History of Portugal, which is a very slim book to talk about 800 years of history.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the first contact that you get as a 5 or 6 years old with the history of the country. Let me see if I can show something interesting here. Oh yeah, this is about the restoration of independence in 1640.
Wow.
And there's a small text accompanying it, and you go through all the important stages in the history of the country. One of my favorite books, Myths for the Modern Age, collecting a series of articles by from the people who believe in the Walt Newton universe, where all of the classic literary characters are part of the same universe.
Yes. Yeah.
This is very, very fun.
That's the one. Doc Savage, Tarzan, Fu Manchu, or some other people are all related.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. All the characters are from the same place.
Yeah, it's a very interesting read.
Cool.
And there are things where each article's author disagrees. There are a couple of different theories on the identity of Captain Nemo, for example. But it's a fun read. You're not supposed to take it seriously.
Right.
And last one that I have here, The History of Science Fiction by Adam Roberts, going back to antiquity, classic antiquity, and all the way up to the 21st century.
Cool.
They have a lot of comparisons to religion regarding how science fiction, how modern science fiction evolved. A lot of it was based on religious thought, such as if there were worlds out there, what would their inhabitants know of gods, and how would they think about morality?
Could be that we look at them as gods.
Cool.
There's a lot of people who believe that today, that there's extraterrestrial civilizations out there and other worlds that are visiting this solar system for thousands of years, and that they are actually the ones responsible for creating the religious myths of our different cultures here on this planet. That's a theory. I don't know, but kind of interesting.
Exactly.
I neglected to show one, so now it will finally all be over. Here's my unexpected.
Great stuff.
But in the chat, they were saying, have you ever seen After? That's who I got the idea from. So,
yeah.
Mikey, you've been lifting weights or something, buddy. You're just slinging those boxes around.
That's right. Yeah.
You're like Gray Man or something.
I was just about to say something like that. Yeah,
and each one has a full
full
back.
boxes being swung around.
Yeah. Well, I'm having too much fun. I've already got designs for 13 more boxes. So,
yeah, you got me thinking about that now. I might do that. It's a pretty cool idea.
All right, Comic Cracks here. Fantastic. Steve got a little package in the mail. I'm hoping he will show.
Oh yeah.
I mentioned it last week, and did you ever know about it before I mentioned it, or
No.
This was an impulse buy.
I wanted it. Yeah.
Oh, don't tell your wife that Graphic Man's channel is causing you to spend money, but he went and got a Psycho Man.
All right, man, that is cool.
Hey, White-eyed Art, how you doing, Tony?
Very cool.
Yeah, he's very nice.
Are you gonna leave it in the blister pack?
Oh no, I'm gonna do my own video where I'm gonna take
There
him
you
out.
go. Yeah.
Take him out and pose him. Because I want to see him with that tablet in his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. Amazon said it was a pre-order not until March. So I ordered it thinking I'm going to wait till March, and it said 2 days later it's on its way. So they're available, guys. High Evolutionary too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, High Evolutionary is available.
What does it look like? Is it pretty cool?
Yeah, it looks very cool, and it's the old style from the picture that I saw. It's the old High Evolutionary. Yeah.
Oh, I got to check that out.
Thanks, Rick. Tony.
Super duper. All right, who wants to show us some books or art or anything? Or, all right, Captain.
I got some stuff I can show you here. Back Did you guys ever read a book that actually really scared you? A horror book, a book that really scared you as an adult?
Mm-hmm.
My whole life, I've never had any book that was able to do that to me except one, and one only, and that's this one by Muriel Gray called The Trickster. And I've always been wanting to see this made into a movie because this book literally scared the crap out of me. And that came out in 1995. And see, how old was I in 95? I was already like in my 40s, man. And for a grown man to have to look underneath his bed after he reads a few chapters, man, you gotta know this is really a frightening thing, man. Muriel Gray really created a fantastic aura of what it would be like if an Indian spirit, the devil incarnate, would inhabit a small town, and what would happen to the inhabitants. I mean, and some of the language that she uses in here to describe this thing called a trickster is just frightening in itself. You know, like twisting into this creature twisting into a grotesque mockery of life. You know, and it's I don't know, but you gotta if you want to read a book that'll scare the crap out of you, this is the one, The Trickster by Muriel Gray. And if they ever do make a movie out of it, I'll be the first one to go see it. But I have a few copies of that. This is the original one that I bought. And then I got the hardcover later. Then I got here something that I got signed by Stan Lee. Stan Lee in leather. Did you ever see Stan Lee in leather? Excelsior. And I got this from the Easton Press. I got a paperback copy of this too. I think this is supposed to be signed by Stan Lee. Let me just show you some pictures of him when he was just little. It's just a little kid, little Stan. I was lucky to get this. It was signed by both Stan Lee and George Muir.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's got some great illustrations in here. There's Stan Lee when he was in the Army. And I think this was at the time when Al Fago took over the editorialship at Timely when Stan Lee went into the Army. This is is there an echo? Yeah, there is. Maybe I'll put on the headphones. But this is a great book. I was very happy to have this in leather because I collect leather-bound books. Then, here's an interesting book. Comic Confidential by Ron Franz.
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah.
Yeah, this is very... it deals with the early organization of comic fandom and then all the turmoil that went with it, you know, the scams and the people that were getting, collectors getting ripped off by buying things through newspapers and magazine ads until Ron Franz, who was one of the administrators of WSA, which is, what is that, Weekly Express seal of approval. You used to get the Comic Buyer's Guide. And those people, those sellers that were approved by WSA would get a stamp, and so that anybody that wanted to buy comics from a dealer that had that stamp could be, pretty confident that he would get the books that he ordered and that he wouldn't get ripped off. So that was a pretty important deal when that came along, WSA. This is a great book. Founding of comic fandom, and let's see if I can see anything else in here. I think. Oh, I wanted to show this. Is this the first appearance of Tarzan in that Argosy Pulp magazine?
No, not that one. On the one, his first appearance is like where he's fighting a lion.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Lion or in battle.
Yeah, because this is later. This is 1937, actually.
Yeah.
So.
Strange Life. I'm just going to go to Jambo real quick. He wants to show a Tarzan book.
Yeah, I just had a copy of that.
Oh, there you go.
Wow. There you go.
Oh, yeah, 1937. That's the. What was the original?
That's the book club, yeah.
So was their book club.
Oh, yeah.
For your information, Lead Paint, we all know how to read books without pictures.
Yeah. Then we got the Sense of Wonder here.
Proud to
Bill Shelley.
Yeah, that's another
great book. This is
excellent.
all about growing up as a child, and being immersed in American pop culture as it relates to comic books, and during the period of the early 70s and late 60s, and this is just a outstanding, phenomenal book. Brings back, it's very nostalgic, a nostalgic read right there. So I'll let you guys, somebody else take over from here.
Fantastic. Jambo, I'm glad you had that Tarzan. I'll be showing a Tarzan really shortly.
Sweet.
Eric, Eric or Jambo, you want to go?
Jambo, you want to go first? Or?
Sure, that's fine. Just got a few things from my favorite author.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Moorcock rocks. Love
Yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm. This is
That's
great.
awesome.
Yeah, I know. If I laughed when you said name, but this is a great series of books right here.
Yeah, I mean they're hard. Those things are hard to find in my area. I'm at a loss to find trilogies like that.
Do you have any of the comics, Steve? This is the second.
I do. Howler
Missing
Mouse
any?
turned me on to Elric.
Do what now?
Howler Mouse turned me on to Elric and Moorcock's work.
Are you missing any of the comics?
No, I'm pretty good with those. It's the novels, man. They're just so hard to come by.
Yeah, I loaned a couple of mine to a friend and never seen them again. Not much of a friend. Here's the first book of the second trilogy of Corum, the Oak and the Ram, and this one was signed by.
Oh, very nice.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Good things can be had on eBay.
Yeah.
And here's an old version of Elric. You can see how much wear is on that.
Mm-hmm.
I've read these things so many times.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They're just great stories.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the second book now, Sailor on the Seas of Fate. That's the third book right there.
Mm-hmm.
And the Daw books are the best ones with yellow spines.
Okay.
They had the best covers and stuff, I thought. There's
I have that one. Yeah.
Here's
I was very happy to get that.
Vanishing Tower.
That painting is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
And last
Yeah, that's classic right there.
Stuff on that. I've got a lot of.
He seems to have been inspired by Robert E. Howard.
Yeah, similar, very similar. Michael Moorcock. I think he got a lot of his inspiration from Howard and Burroughs and
Edgar
Jules
Rice
Verne.
Burroughs.
Yeah. I got
Yeah, definitely
just about
Burroughs.
everything. I'm sorry.
I don't think he has any problem admitting that he stole Cane of Old Mars from.
Yes. Burroughs, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he even puts that in the introduction of the book there.
Mhm.
But there's been people that's borrowed from him also
Oh yeah.
recently. So
I think that's just natural. That
yeah,
yeah.
it's a cool picture. Things like that.
So I remember that Moorcock had no nice words for J.R.R. Tolkien.
Oh, really? Let's see. I just grabbed a few books I had laying on the shelf there. I couldn't get to all of my shelf. There was too many boxes in the way, so I'm missing.
That's
I
very
got that
cool.
comic book,
Oh yeah,
Wally Wood comic book, An Earthman on Venus. That was a one shot.
this one's by Al Williamson. Yeah, it's a good comic, Captain.
Yeah, they've used that picture before too.
Yeah, and I've got some Howard stuff. This is Sprague de Camp and Lynn Carter, borrowing from Howard's writings. But yeah, these had some great covers on them too. That's Boris, I believe.
I agree, Lead Paint. They won't let us have them.
Let's see. And let's give her some equal time there. Some Sonya action.
Oh hell yeah! I love those painted covers now. You know.
Yeah.
Does it say and the interiors who the cover artists are?
I think most of these were by Boris Vahelio.
Uh-huh.
If I pronounce that name right.
Yeah, he was great.
How do you pronounce it, Paulo?
Vallejo.
Vallejo?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I knew I was butchering it, but that's the best my hillbilly would allow. So
I think Paulo's butchering it. He's not even pronouncing half the letters there.
this book here was always one of my favorites as a kid.
I can see why.
Ooh.
That's awesome.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it's creased in the middle and stuff like that, where I read it so many times, and it just had all the old classic guys from the horror movies, Lon Chaney, and Karloff, Bride of Frankenstein, and stuff like that, and just everybody in this, and great stuff. I mean, as a kid, it was one of my favorite things to check out of the library.
Classic.
And liked it so much, I wrote a number in there and signed my name so nobody would take it, I guess. So I put it again on the front there, just in case. Make sure nobody grabs that. So I have some of these. I don't have all of these. So
Nice.
there's my. Yeah. There you go. There you go, Micah.
Oh, now we're cooking. I like that.
I think everybody's probably got this one.
Yes.
Great stuff.
It's a dynamite book.
And I don't have but one of the Spider-Man.
That's great too.
You know, I never got into the superhero paperback books that much.
From the movie. Great Schwarzenegger movie. Some X-Men action. And I have to be honest, I never really read these.
See what I run with.
There's a Spider-Man crossover. You can save $3.50 for that.
Yeah.
Half price books.
Yeah, I think so. And some of my favorite stuff. Star Trek paperbacks.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, let somebody else show
Fantastic.
some stuff if they want to.
There's some good stuff there.
Very nice stuff.
Well, Eric, you want to go, or I can go again? I don't mind.
I'll show a few things. I think I said strayed from the theme tonight, but
Oh, there you
Huh.
are. I always get you two confused.
We don't have a theme tonight.
that's good because I'm not following it. I'm going to start with some hard case crime books. They said the ones that they all have these cool gun logos, and
Oh yeah.
so it's Fright, Cornell Woolridge. The guy wrote Rear Window.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one. This one I got for the title alone. The Corpse Wore Pasties by Johnny Pork Pie. Turned out to be legitimately one of the better books in this publishing.
Is it really named Pork Pie?
I'm suspecting it's not his real name.
Right, but I mean it's on the book. It's on the cover.
Oh yeah, Johnny Pork Pie.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably a pseudonym, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, because why would Mr. and Mrs. Pork Pie name their son Johnny?
I know.
Blackmailer. Oh, funny you mentioned Tennessee Williams. We're going to be seeing some stuff here later. And I've got some other ones I'll be showing later, but here's a Mike Shane mystery here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of the old style pulp covers. This is one I mentioned this before. This was the 50th book in the series, and Charles R. Dye is the guy that put the company together. And this book has 50 chapters, and each chapter is the title of the first 49 books.
Wow.
Here's a James Cain, Cocktail Waitress.
Very nice cocktail waitress, I might add.
All right, here's one you kind of fits with it. A Harlan Ellison book.
Oh wow, that's cool. I love Harlan.
Here's one of those. Get these out of the way here. Here's one of the books that Max Allan Collins finished for Mickey Spillane.
Neat.
Kiss her goodbye.
So I've got some repressings of some of the old lesbian fiction crap.
Young and Innocent, yeah.
There's Shabby Street. If anybody was reading DC Comics around the Final Crisis,
I prefer
they used this cover, only they changed it to Renee Montoya and some other girl in, I can't remember the name of the series, but it was I blew that one, but they used that. Here's Badge of Evil, which is what Touch of Evil was taken from. I mentioned that because that's one of my favorite movies of all time. There's some absolutely straying further from the search engine here. Breakfast at Tiffany's. Truman Capote. Bud Schulberg, one of my favorite authors. What Makes Sammy Run? It's a real good rendition. Is with John Forsythe in the role. Say how old it is too. It's back when John Forsythe could run. It's Anatomy of a Murder. And yes, the book is about as long as the movie.
Wow.
And I'll finish up here with some Jim Thompson books.
Oh, one of my favorites.
The Grifter,
Yes.
The Getaway.
Yeah.
And Steve said if you're a fan of his, I'm sure you know why they had to change the ending for the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Population 1250.
One of my favorites right there.
Taco Bell makes Sammy run.
And the one he's probably best known for, The
Yes.
Killer Inside Me.
Did you see the comic book adaptation of that?
I have it, yes.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I thought they did a good job with that.
Yeah, I even liked the movie they made about the second time around with Jessica Alba and who was it? Tom Hanks' kid?
No, it was. I thought it was what's his name's brother. Oh crap! Played the. It'll come to me.
Later,
Fossils.
Yeah.
Well, how about H.G. Wells' A Time Machine?
Classic.
Love that.
Very cool.
Let me see if there's an illustration in here. And no, look at this. Here's a portrait of H.G. Wells. It's a great movie. I love the original movie. It was just
Rod Taylor. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, it was just fantastic. I love that movie. And then I think I showed this the last time, didn't I? Fahrenheit, Ray Bradbury, Fahrenheit 451.
You may have.
And of course, that's what the temperature at which paper burns, and books are outlawed, and there's a group of people. Each individual becomes a book. They study and memorize an entire book because books are basically outlawed and burned. So that was a good book to read there. Then we got, what is it? I'm all over the place. All right, Edgar Rice Burroughs, At the Earth's Core and Princess of Mars.
You can't go wrong with either one of those. Yeah.
I wish that I love these books, and they're the fact that they're in leather makes me more inclined to really read them slowly and carefully and pay attention. But there's hardly any illustrations in there. Here's one illustration. I don't know who does this, but illustration by Ron Miller. Then, somebody was talking about earlier. Wortham was right. Who had that book? Who showed that book?
Wortham was right.
But anyway, this book here by Joe Lepore, it tells you the whole history of the creation of Wonder Woman and Marston Malton and his wife and her lover. They were lesbians, and they had a third person that lived in the house. That's them. This is, I think, Marjorie. She lived in the attic of the house, kind of weird. And then this was his wife, the guy that created Wonder Woman. That's his wife. And this is the woman that actually Olive Byrne, who got him to create Wonder Woman, and she's wearing the bracelets that inspired the Wonder Woman. The bracelet that Wonder Woman wears, right there. And they were lesbians, and then they were bisexual, and they were having a big, sex thing going on between the three of them, possibly the third one too that lived in the attic, which is kind of weird, but I don't know. But this is a great book if you want to know. And Wortham had said that there was, homosexuality going on with Wonder Woman, and calling her, and turning kids into lesbians, and he wasn't that far off from the truth. Not that it matters today, but then I got Elsprey de Camp, Lest Darkness Fall, which
I have that in paperback, more recent version.
Yeah, this is a good book on alternate history. He goes back in time and then to prevent, the fall of Western civilization.
Yeah, but you kind of notice on page 6, this is Connecticut Yankee on King Arthur's court.
Yeah, it's there's that going on, and the Man in the High Castle is another great book about alternate history. Then, in 2003, I was in New Orleans and I met Anne Rice and at a bookstore, and I was able to get a presentation copy of her book, Totos, about the witches, which is it's about a long family line of witches going back, a couple hundred years. It was a great book. And she signed it there for me. And then this is the signature of the artist that did the cover. It's just a photograph, actually. But that was Sandra Russell Clark, and then Anne Rice signed it. So this is I love her stories about there's a whole series about the witches, the Telltales, and I love that more than her vampire stories, actually. And speaking of the vampire stories, I got the Interview with a Vampire by Anne Rice, and this is also signed by her.
That's cool.
So, it's not always all comic books, but it's in the same vein. It's fantasy, science fiction, or, it's in there.
Same vein. I see what you did there.
Yeah, the same vein. And, well, that's all what I got right now. I'll show you some other books. Oh, wait, here, let me show you this one. This is a humongous book, The Arabian Nights. And I often wonder how many stories, or how many of the authors that we all know and love were inspired by some of these stories in the Arabian Nights. But this is a great book. 1001 Nights, The Arabian Nights, Scheherazade. Come on, what's the matter with you people?
We ain't cultured.
You ain't cultured. I know. What do you want me to do? Show you something like this instead?
Oh yeah, that's a great
Now
one.
you're talking.
That's even better.
Show you that later.
All right, let me show. A while back, I had a Steve Canyon book, but it didn't have a cover, and so I found on the internet a bunch of pictures, different angles. I was able to piece this together, and I've printed it out and made myself a nice little book cover.
That's cool.
Did the same thing for this 1924 Tarzan and the Ant-Man. And I found a place where a guy had all these red books of Tarzan, and but I didn't think any of them ever had covers. But I was looking around, I found this cover, and I thought, well, that'll do. I can just get that. But every spine image that I saw was blurry or too small. Or then I thought, well, when did this story first appear in the magazine? And so there's this great little picture in the magazine, but I found the original art to that. And so I thought I would just make my own. little book, and so I've made the cover
Mhm.
That's awesome.
and a little back cover of Tarzan. So there you
Great
go.
idea.
So
Beautiful art too.
that and the Steve Canyon book on the bookshelf, that's what they'll look like. Now, I'll go ahead and mess around my pop culture. Last week, Eric Breen showed this comic. Y'all remember that? The Our Love Story, #1. And somebody said it wouldn't take too much to make that into a Spider-Man, so I decided to go ahead and make it a Spider-Man.
That's very cool.
So there's the trademark logo box.
Mhm.
And put Aunt May in there. And so there you go.
Very cool.
So I'm a big gun fan, and if you want any book about guns, this has got them.
Wow.
And
Look at
it's
those muskets.
I spend hours going through these. So, but I like the old Wild West days, and I know Steve Charlton 66 does.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a set of 4 I have.
Story
Wow.
of Crazy Horse. Yeah.
That's cool.
I love their covers.
Yeah, it's beautiful artwork.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What do you see, Geronimo? Here's Buffalo Bill.
That's neat.
These are the same style.
Yeah.
Davy Crockett. Try to. Here's her interior. Those are historic events, and
Looks like little Fess Parker on the cover.
here's Geronimo.
Well, that's cool.
All right. Next time I'm up, I'll show you some Pogo, but we better get back to the other guys. Paulo, did you want to run through some more?
Yeah, sure thing. Let's go to some covers I selected from Marvel's French editions published by Lug. So I'm going to be sharing screen here.
I don't know, Jackson.
Okay. Okay, are we seeing this?
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is a book about Jean Frisano. This is one of his covers for Lug. And this book was made in the 1980s and is highly sought out among French collectors, selling between 300 and 400 euros. So
Wow.
about $450.
Well, that's so much money.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that so much money, Paulo?
Yeah, Frisano is kind of an interesting figure. Very talented, but mostly worked as a cover artist. There needed to be a small amount of French-made production in each of the comic books, and since these were American stories, so they decided to do the covers. Frisano did all of them, and this is a style that became famous among fans of the Petit Format magazine.
I like the colors on that.
Very good. They're very good. Okay, so let's go with some of the covers. This is from Conan, Black Colossus. Conan was usually published by Aredi Artima, which was a rival publisher. Aredi Artima got the Marvel characters that Lug didn't want, but they did end up doing one series of Conan in the early 80s. So here's another one. They tried selling these like they were small paperbacks. That's why they have titles.
They look great.
Mhm.
I like the artwork there. Very nice.
Okay, so this is Frisano's first superhero work. It's not painted, but it's this Fantasque #7. Fantasque was their first Marvel magazine in 1968. It was canceled by the French Comics Code Authority in #7.
Really?
I sure want one.
I take
Yeah.
it that's a scroll.
Yeah, it
Well,
was considered scary for children.
Mhm.
So this is Futura. It
Wow.
had French superheroes and science fiction stories. I believe this is from Clash, which was a spy-fi feature.
That's tremendous.
Mm-hmm. Here's another one. And another one. I think there was always a lot of movement with Frisano. So moving back to Marvel, this is one of their main titles. All their main titles were anthologies, and this was one of the most successful ones, called Strange. So starting here with the Daredevil cover. Now the X-Men. Sometimes Frisano just copied the original cover, but because he had his distinctive painting style, you can tell that that was him. A slightly different take, but still a lot of personality. This one has Kazar and Spider-Man.
wow, that's cool.
What a great cover. Look at that. That's a great cover.
Yeah, when he has these outdoors covers in nature, I think they look very realistic, much more than he's seen in the city.
Peter Parker there looks quite out of place, though, in that picture.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, I mean, looks totally out of place there.
Yeah, it's probably one of the times that Spider-Man met Kazar. So this is probably actually from that time that Kazar was in New York, and Spider-Man was a regular guest star for 3 or 4 issues.
Oh, that's
pretty good, huh?
yeah.
Daredevil and Stuntmaster, who started as a villain and then became a nobody.
He started out as somebody and became nobody.
Yeah. Iron Fist cover. See, this is the type of thing that they should add as extras in Marvel's trade paperbacks, but they never will.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Marvel.
Love that cover.
These are dynamite.
He totally got the spirit of what Starlin does without making it look like a Starlin cover.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Love the background. His face is awesome.
Yeah, he sure took his time doing this one.
Mm-hmm.
He was an Iron Man with the nose.
Oh yeah.
I think it looks very good. The armor looks shiny and 3-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Here's the Eternals. I love that detail of Icarus being shot by the deviant ship, and then Margot's plane coming from the other side. There's movement everywhere.
Yeah.
Another Iron Man cover.
Oh, cool.
Ominous Mandarin.
Yeah, that's nice.
And it's kind of funny that they're advertising this as Spider-Man's magazine. You see at the top Le Journal de Spider-Man, and putting Spidey's head next to the title. Spider-Man meeting Captain America. I think this is from a Marvel team-up. One of the rare instances in which Frisano got to paint Captain America, precisely because Cap was not part of Luke's lineup. Cap was published by the rival publisher. From the Space Knight, meaning Galactus. That's when Galactus tried to eat Galador.
That's cool.
Yeah, that Galac's got a big appetite, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And another ROM cover there with Doctor Strange and the Living Tribunal
And a green Spidey.
and the Green Spidey.
It wasn't right
Oh,
yet.
yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so I think we're going to take a break for now
All right.
because I've got another round.
Fantastic. Oh, I want every one of those.
yeah.
Nice.
And these titles lasted for a long while. Some of them ended up reaching number 500 in the 1990s, although there was a time when they lost the rights to Marvel and they were publishing Wildstorm stories.
All right. Who else has something to show us?
I got some stuff. I haven't shown anything yet.
All right.
What do we got going on? All right. One of the things that I had an issue with was trying to figure out what I'm going to show. Because, like you guys, I know you started reading comic books and then you started reading books. But then once you started reading books, you start collecting more and more books. And I've got tons of stuff. I didn't know where to start. So I just stayed with kind of in the pulp era of paperbacks. So I'm going to show some Shadow and Doc Savage and a couple other things. But mostly Shadow Doc and some other pulp stuff. What I did was I got some of my favorite Doc books and some of my favorite Shadow books with the Steranko covers, which everyone loves those. So I'm going to show those, and like I said, a couple other things. First thing I'm going to show is the Master of Darkness, the Living Shadow, with the awesome Steranko cover that everyone knows that from just looking at it, where that's coming from. This is the very first pulp. Unlike, just like this is from Pyramid, Bantam did the Doc books. They didn't put these in order. So, and the Shadow's origin is peppered throughout the whole series. You didn't know until 6 years later who the Shadow really was. They actually published the pulps for 6 years, and they did not expound on who the Shadow really was. So it shows you how much people loved the series, and they didn't want to really know until they told it was Ken Allard is really the Shadow's persona, not Lamont Cranston like everyone thinks. But that's for a different story.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is, because Ken Allard was an aviator during World War One, and he was called the Black Eagle because he flew at night. He did night missions, and then he spied for the U.S. Was known as a good spy, good aviator. Then something happened to him, and then he came to New York as the Shadow. So, and that's peppered throughout the whole series. The Red Menace. The Romanov Jewel. This is the story where Shadow gets his Garosol ring. It was a gift from the Tsar because the Shadow was spying during World War One for the good guys. So in reward, the Shadow the Tsar Nicholas gives Shadow his Garosol ring, which has abilities, and Shadow uses it in his fight of crime. This is a great cover. Green Eyes. Got his 45s out ready to roll. Shadow. This is number 16. They did the trade dress a little different, but still Steranko. Another great cover.
Those are great.
Different trade. Thank you. Great Fist, which is phenomenal. He actually goes to the bad guy's headquarters, loaded to bear. He's got 45s hidden in his cloak. He pulls them out, uses them. Once they're empty, he throws them down, grabs more out of the cloak. He's just a terror in this one. I believe it's this novel right here where that happens in it. I always remembered it. These are from my childhood. These are the ones I picked up. You read comics You hear about the pulp, the radio shows, everything else. So you want to go seek these things out, and it's like, man, you really want these books, and they're expensive now. I don't have that many of the Shadow books. I've got the reprints that Adventure House puts out and some other companies, but none of the paperbacks.
I got a lot of the old radio programs of the Shadow. And
yeah, and they're really good too.
You took way better care of your books than I did.
Well, you know, these are like, I mean, back in like the mid to late 70s, they were like $3 or $4 a piece. So that was like comic book money, you know. You're like, I gotta take care of it.
Exactly.
You know, this is the Mob's Men on the Spot. This is another great adventure. These are the pyramid books, and these I didn't like that much. I mean, the stories are good, but the covers are kind of, I don't know. I don't like how they're showing his face, because apparently, if you read the stories and they're again peppered throughout the adventures, the Shadow doesn't have a face. Apparently, he wears a scarf because he's disfigured. They figured something happened during World War II, during World War One, that disfigured him, and he uses either hypnosis or plastic surgery, or plastic special effect makeup, that so no one knows he's really disfigured. But a few stories that I have, that the bad guys take off his scarf, and he says he doesn't have a face, or it looks like a skull. So go figure with that. Yeah, again, more mythos for the Shadow. Another cool. Actually, we'll go on to somebody else. I'll take a break. We'll go on to somebody else. But one thing that we mentioned, the old radio shows. This is a great book to have. The Great Radio Heroes. This goes through everybody, and it's well written, well researched, and it's got everything in there, as you can see on the cover. Jack Armstrong, Tom Mix, I Love a Mystery, First Snyder, Inner Sanctum, Ma Perkins, and of course the Shadow, Sherlock Holmes, and everybody else. But
where's the Whistler?
Yeah, the Whistler I think is in here, but it's a great book to have. It's kind of pricey when you find it, but it's worth having. They lumped the Whistler within the radio channel that it was on, the broadcasting network that it was on. But
I love all those shows.
Yeah, this is such a great book to have. So, all right, we'll go on to somebody else.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the Whistler. I remember one time Jack Benny, they were doing a parody of that. It was the Fiddler. And it was very good.
Jack Benny doesn't know how to play the violin.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Jambo's
that was another favorite of mine, Jack Benny radio program.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what? Oh. Yes, copy.
He's got the glasses on and everything.
Anyway.
You're supposed to be paying attention, Jambo.
I got this in the mail the other day. It's a book. Some good girl action there. 1948.
That's cool.
Some funny stuff in it. Some older artists. And for you, Micah.
Yeah?
I grabbed this off the shelf.
Hey.
So, one of those, they did a whole series of these. And it had some of the classic stories. Like Treasure Island.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Heidi and Robinson Crusoe. Just a little bit of everything. But
Could you show the Crusoe? Could you show the Crusoe again? I had a message on the screen, so I want people to be able to see it. Oh, excellent! He just found the footprints. Yeah.
A little worse for the wear, yeah, but yeah, pretty cool. Oops. And I did find one of my Robert E. Howard books.
Nice.
Oh, man. And the first one that had my favorite stories in it, yeah, I loaned out. So don't do that. Sometimes you don't get them back.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
This was kind of messed up at the top, but yeah.
I know Gratu likes seeing that.
Yep.
Yeah, Grotto, that's for you, buddy.
He loves his Mad.
Very cool. This was a very good read, too. Inside info on William Gaines there. And because everybody needs one of these,
Yep.
Conan Dictionary.
you never know.
Hey, remember when they did that? William Shatner tried to create his own language.
Yeah, for a movie called Incubus.
Was that it?
Mm-hmm.
Is that one of his books?
It's Esperanto or something.
Yeah.
Esperanto.
And these are kind of comics. But they were
Oh,
on
that's
the
cool.
shelf
Oh,
there.
he's there. Look at that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Great cover.
It's pretty cool. Nickel Comics.
Captain Adam. Interesting. I never knew there was another Captain Adam.
Yeah, this was, I don't know who did this. I didn't write it down.
That's awesome.
It's from 51, I believe. And that was in there for some reason.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't get these digests no more either. It's a thing of the past.
And here's a little pulp with Robert E. Howard's story.
Oh, that's cool.
Garden of Fear.
Is that a fanzine or is that actually a printed story?
It was it was a printed pulp.
Oh,
But it
that's
was
cool.
from like the 60s,
Okay.
early 60s, I think, that they had printed later. And this was on my shelf.
Oh, that's a great book.
Yeah. So nice Alex Ross cover on.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Everett. And this is really cool. I mean, it's kind of informative. If you collect the art and stuff, like Steve there. Kind of handy. Handy dandy. And great history.
There we go.
Mhm.
I have that. It's a great book.
Very cool. And what else we got near us here? You guys probably have some of these.
Sweet.
Those are great books to get if you can get them at the right price.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure I got these at the right price or I wouldn't have them.
Right.
I wasn't going to pay the full. Well, they're about 40 bucks.
40 to
50
$40 to
bucks.
$50. Those books, ridiculous.
Yeah, there's a Roy Thomas editions of
Oh,
the Phantom
yeah.
Lady.
I think that was what Phantom Lady 17. That cover?
17. Yep.
Yeah, it went for
Okay.
half a million or something like that.
Yeah, that's Matt Baker. Man, it's a great cover by Matt Baker. Ah, Winky Winky.
Some good action.
Look at the Hindenburgs on there.
And here's some more Wonder Woman stuff. I got that from Half Price Books.
Hmm.
There are those
Really
bracelets
cool.
again.
This one had
Olive burn bracelets.
Yeah, it had the tiara you could take off there
Ah,
and wear if you wanted to. It also had some of the bracelets inside. And it had my girl. Oops.
oh.
That's
Is
cool.
that a signature or is that
Yeah, well, it's a
printed in there?
Yeah, signature.
Autograph, I mean.
So are you gonna wear the tiara for us?
I could put it on, I guess, huh?
Yeah. I'll go upstairs when you do that.
People forgot about Kathy Crosby over there.
Yeah. It wasn't, what's her name? Deborah Winger in it as well?
Yeah, she was her younger sister
Yeah.
in a couple of episodes of it there. So
Mhm.
pretty cool. Oh, yeah, there's the you guess those are the bracelets there. So
Well, that's cool. You can
I can put the whole
fight
costume
Cronin.
on, guys. I mean, if y'all want to stick around. And
Lucy.
these are really cool. I mean, I look for stuff like this when I go into half-price books all the time, and it's got a bunch of the old. The old covers and stuff in it.
There's 6 books in that series. How many do you have?
2. Great stuff.
Something tells me Eric has 7.
Well, I'm trying to remember if there was 6 and plus the one that was just called comic books. So it's either 6 or 7. Took forever to find, though.
This one was really nice.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. Gold gilt pages.
And this was like the complete history of Doctor Strange, which I thought was really cool. And it had some of these nemesis.
That's neat. Yeah.
So that was very cool. And I didn't get a chance to dig out my Marvel journals or anything like that, but I won't bore you guys with that right now. I've got a bunch of the guides, so maybe we'll look at them later.
All right. Well, do I dare show you guys some Pogo?
Love the Pogo.
Let's see what you got, my friend.
Hopefully all you guys know who Pogo is. So
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
these are pretty old.
Buddy Ball.
See that price tag? $1. So
That's a
Yeah.
lot back then.
I have Buddy Ball's book here.
That's a great cover.
So this is what Pogo would start off looking like
Okay.
back in the old days. Just an album of them, but not considered politically correct because of a character, a young African American boy. But Walt Kelly soon dropped that character and focused on just the main.
Just fine, says Bug.
You got to read the back. It's like a whole newspaper.
All right. Pogo Extra. That's a nice one.
Pogo the Minstrel.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
And for you Lyndon Baines Johnson fans, there might be 3 of them out there.
Walt Kelly.
I warned you there'd be a lot.
Kind of like the Bone character.
Yeah, Jeff Smith was influenced.
Oh, yeah.
Now you see the detail he puts.
Yeah.
You look real close.
Oh, that's incredible.
Just,
Yeah, that's
just
nice.
all through that.
The spoon, it looks a little bit like Alice in Wonderland up there.
Hmm.
The whole thing is Alice in Wonderland.
And I drew this one for my wife when I proposed to her.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, isn't that sweet of me? I know.
You old romantic.
Yeah.
Pogo.
Nice.
And I think it was Jackson noticed I Go Pogo. This was around 52 in response. I got two up. In response to the I Like Ike buttons the Republicans were wearing in 52. So he decided to go I Go Pogo instead of I Like Ike. Almost done. Hang in there.
Yeah.
Looking for some eats.
Yeah, man, got the salt ready to go. Wow.
Jack Acid.
Well, that one looks hardcore.
Oh, yes. He got very political.
It's almost underground.
Then by the time you get to the 1960s, they're putting a hat on them. And kind of like how they put Mickey Mouse in pants instead of shorts. Not my favorite time period.
Wow.
So if you knew the political characters, this well, I'm pointing to the wrong. Spiro Agnew. And finally, we'll stop with the Pogo papers. So,
That's cool.
all right.
That's awesome.
Now we're probably down to 3 viewers. So
That's his life.
Paulo, we may need to go to you if you're going to fall asleep soon.
Yeah, so let's continue sharing screen. Okay. All right, so we've got more Frisano here now from the title called Titans. This comic started after the teen titles already existed, but they were not very well known internationally. So when Luke put out Titans, they were not trying to steal the thunder from DC. So this covers the Champions. Then this is Star Wars.
Look at that.
Frisano did a great job with Star Wars. It became a regular cover feature on Titans. Here's Machine Man doing the cover, doing a version of Kirby's cover. Dazzler and Doctor Doom. And Dazzler and She-Hulk.
Wow.
That's a cool one. I would buy that.
Yeah, it's great seeing these
Mhm.
covers.
Yeah, it is.
Now the Titans, this one with New Mutants #1. I think it looks better like this, and I actually like the Bob McLeod cover, but this it's got personality, more movement more realistic movement than the other one.
Looks painted.
And everything. Yeah, this one looks painted.
Yeah.
You know it's painted, but you look at it and painted. That's what painted is supposed to look like.
Yeah.
More Dazzler now with Power Man and Iron Fist. Another one from Star Wars. Here's an adaptation of the Dark Crystal. The specific title registration for this one. This was they ended up using regular Marvel covers, and this one, which was issue #1, adapting the Dark Crystal, is the only one with a Frisano cover. Now from Nova, another one of their regular titles, starting with the Silver Surfer. Looks unearthly. This one is not painted, but it shows the Fantastic Four.
Well, that's cool. I like that Johnny Storm outfit anyway. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I like that red and yellow.
Spider-Woman cover, also not painted, but in the typical Frisano style. You can, even when he's not painting, you can recognize his style. Or Fantastic Four.
Wow.
Notice the double branding. You have Spider-Man at the top because it's recognizable as Marvel's most famous character. But then under the Nova title, they already had it on the other cover. Showcase that this is the magazine where you can find the Fantastic Four. Of course, Reed and Sue Richards were not called Reed and Sue in France. They were called Red and Jane Richards.
Red. Red.
Here's a Spider-Man cover. And the Fantastic Four. Remember this guy, the Futurist?
Yeah.
Johnny Storm with Frankie Ray. Great scene here. Not even Byrne would do this with Frankie Ray. Now from the quarterly title, Special Strange, meeting between Spider-Man and Shang-Chi. This one is Spider-Man and Iron Man.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Set the Marvel team up, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Issue
Like
9.
what is it, 9?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
On the X-Men.
Nice.
And the last one here, his take on the death of the Phoenix.
It's like he more related that to Cockrum than he did Byrne. Looks more like a Cockrum-esque X-Men than it does like Byrne.
Yeah.
Yeah, Burnett has a way of drawing characters that not many people do. Like everyone is round.
That's cool.
Okay.
Very cool cover.
And we are done. This was the last one that I had selected. I could have selected over 100 of these. Yeah, if you go to bdcomic.fr and then you, you'll have to understand French because the site isn't very easy to navigate. But all of these are there and more from Lug. Lug was also, before they started publishing Marvel, they had the rights to several Italian characters, and then they ended up doing imitations of the Italian characters and hiring the same Italian artists to work on them. Regarding Jean Frisano, he was born in 1927 and he died very young in 1987 at age 60. So he kind of remained a legend for fans of American comics in France. And he had an art exhibit at the Angoulême Comic Festival in 2020. And I would have loved to have seen that. I've never been to Angoulême. But in order to go there, I have to make plans like a year in advance. And also, it's not cheap. Not so much for the trip, which is not cheap itself, but more because you go there and you're going to be buying a lot of comics. And since most of them are hardcover editions, and then you're gonna get lost in the city looking for all the exhibits. Everything is close together, and there are indications of where you're supposed to go and there you can find the stuff, but you're going to lose yourself in the exhibits because you're going to want to see every little bit of art that's in there. That is the real greatest comic book convention in the world is the Angoulême Festival. That's when they have not only all of the new comics that you can buy, they have writers and artists from all over the world not just France. They have a lot of Americans,
Mhm.
and they treat comics as an art form. They want to explore
That's-
comics as an art form, which is the part that's missing from American conventions.
Yes, agreed. Agreed.
Yep,
Agreed.
sure is.
Well, those looked great, Paulo. Anytime you want to show any more of those, even if our show was on basket weaving, you feel free to show those. They look good.
Yeah, one of these days I'm gonna try and show some stuff from Brazil, because we had the Brazilian comics here in Portugal. That's how I started reading Marvel, and I want to show you guys what was it like to grow up as me.
Okay. All right.
Okay, well, thanks for having me, but it's now 2:30, so I'm going
All right,
to bed.
Have a good
And
night.
All right, Paulo. Good
that
seeing
will,
you
Good
again.
night, Paulo.
yeah, no problem. And I'll watch the rest when I wake up.
All
All
right.
right.
Bye bye,
Take
everyone.
See ya.
All right.
Those were absolutely
Yeah.
fantastic.
They were cool.
I like the colors on that. You know, the colors are so different than what we experience here in American comics. And
Could that be the same guy that did the painting for Marvel Bizarre Adventures, where it's got Phoenix, Nightcrawler, and
That's Gulacy.
oh, goodness.
that was what number 27, I think.
Yeah, Gulacy did that.
I think I got a few. I got a few copies of that. Bizarre Adventures number 27. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Yeah, Gulacy.
That's a title I don't see. I really don't see it. Maybe they're
I got
everywhere where you guys are. Yeah, you've got all of them. That's why I can't find it.
Well, I don't have all of them, but I got them. I could show them next time. Well, you want me to show some of the Man from Uncle?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. So I don't know if you guys, most of you guys are familiar with the TV series, right? From Man from Uncle, 1965, 66. This is the first book by Michael Avallone, who created a character in Man from Uncle. A lot of people think he actually did the TV show, but he had nothing to do with the TV show. That was MGM. But that's the first issue of the Man from Uncle. Number 2, second in the series, Doomsday Affair. Back cover. Number 3. Man, I used to have the Man from Uncle. What do they call those? The attaché case with the guns in it and everything. And
Nice.
I don't know. I think it got stolen from me or it got broken. I don't know what happened.
I bet some spy got it, Captain.
Yeah. Here's number 4. Of course, all these are coming in on the coattails of 007, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Spy.
And we had I Spy was on TV, and this is number 5.
Does anybody remember what Uncle stood for?
Oh yeah, it says right here, doesn't it? United something or other. I don't know.
I
always
don't
forget.
remember.
United National something Law Enforcement.
Yeah, it was just crazy. I don't know. But here's number 6. Ilya Kuryakin and Napoleon Solo. David McCallum, Robert Vaughn. Number 7, the Radioactive Camel Affair. The Radioactive Camel Affair. I think he's talking about cigarettes.
Mhm.
They were pretty radioactive back then. This is actually was number 8, and it was written by McDaniel or somebody. Yeah, David McDaniel.
A Monster Wheel Affair.
The Monster Wheel Affair.
More wheel.
Just great stuff. I mean, I love that period back in the mid-'60s. That was the peak of pop culture. American pop culture, 1966. Number 9, The Diving Dames Affair.
Love his gun, man. That's so cool.
And look at this really cool looking car,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Wow. This is nice.
The Splintered Sunglasses Affair by Peter Leslie.
Does every one of these end with the word affair?
Yeah, they're all like that. Yep. The Cross of Gold Affair. That was number 14. Wait, I'm out of order now. That's really number 6. I had number 9. Here's number 10. Assassination Affair. Number 9, number 10, number 11. It was such a great TV show, man. I miss all these shows, like that. Like, I don't even watch TV today. I mean, not commercial television. I don't watch that at all. Number 13. So that's the one I'm missing is 15. Here's 14. Oh, I just showed you that. Yeah. And then 16, I just showed you that too. I'm missing number 15. But
I would bet those are hard to find too.
yeah, they're not too easy to find. And they get expensive, all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we got? Oh. Hey, did I show you the day of the Triffids movie posters and the lobby cards a while back? But anyway, here's the book by John Wyndham. Great sci-fi monster film. Any of you guys ever see this movie?
I've
yeah.
seen it. Yes,
I think so.
Yeah, the Triffid was great. Meteor shower strikes the Earth, and then everybody goes blind, and only a few people can see, and all these plants start to appear, man-eating plants that are intelligent, and they're hell-bent on taking over humanity. Die of the Triffids.
I'd almost welcome that.
Well, we got the Day of the Triffids in the White House, but I'm not getting political here. This is a great, great, great book. I read the whole damn thing over time, and it's got all these great different authors in it. Edited by Peter Normanton. Holy crap! It's got look at some of the titles in here. Famous Tales of Terror, Hitler's Head, No Rest for the Dead, The Secret Files of Dr. Drew, The Corpse That Wouldn't Die, Dungeon of Doom, Bride of Death. If you love horror, this is a book to get, man.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Steve Niles, Pete Von Charlie, Mike Kalua, Mike Plog, or you say Plug, Vincent Locke, Frank Bruner, and a lot more. So, what? And any of you guys ever heard of this book, The 10-Cent Plug?
Mm-hmm.
This guy here, I think he's exaggerated a little bit about, even more than a little bit about the number of individuals that lost or never returned to do comics, or because of the comics code. I think he said over some. He said over I don't know 400 people, which I think is somewhat exaggerated, but. Yeah, and then he made some mistakes about some photographs taking place in a year that was actually like this photograph here. It says 1949. It actually took place at a high school in 1948. So that was wrong. So you get some stuff wrong. Then he says Cole was one of the people that never returned to comics, and that's not true because he did.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing, comics for the newspapers, and then he did comics for Playboy before he killed himself. And but it's still a great read. You just gotta watch out for mistakes in there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I got some pulps back there that I didn't pull out. Not pulps, paperback pulp books that I can pull out. If you still want to keep going.
Yeah, Gratu had a fellow on his channel the other day that showed a bunch of old pulps.
Yeah, I'm not talking about. Yeah,
cool stuff.
Those were great.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about original pulp magazines. I'm talking about the paperbacks.
Oh, okay.
Pulp paperbacks I got back there from the 50s and 40s. There he is,
Gratu.
Mayor of Gratuville.
Hey,
We were just talking about you.
oh yeah.
Talking about your pulp show you had the other day.
Oh yeah.
How awesome that was. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, he's got a huge collection. That was just the tip of the iceberg.
Some of those
So,
were,
hoping to have him back on.
Well, who would like to go next?
I got some stuff again.
All right, Steve.
All right. Back to the pulps. One of the series is hard to find, but it's great to have it if you can get it. G8 Battle Aces with a great Steranko, another Steranko cover. This is the first book. Again, they're not printed in order. They never printed these things in order of the actual pulps, but this is a great one right here. The Purple Aces, G8 Battle Aces. There's another great one. G8 Battle Aces, Age of the White Death. Ace of the White Death, excuse me.
Yeah.
Just Franco stuff. G8 Battle Aces, one of the original pulp art.
Oh, yeah.
This particular cover. On to first thing, if you had you want to collect Doc Savage, if you're a fan of Doc Savage, or just the idea of the story, I recommend this one. Doc Savage's Apocalyptic Life by Philip Jose Farmer. It goes through Doc's whole life, from the time he was born to the end. It talked about the adventures, how many days each book took, how the continuity was messed up when Banner reprinted it, and how the continuity can come back if you read them in a certain order. But this covers everything about Doc Savage you ever wanted to know about. Again, they printed it in different formations. There's a hardback, there's a paperback. So some other Doc Savage onto Doc. These are some of my favorite covers and my favorite stories. The Czar of Fear. No one rivals James Bama when it comes to just artwork in general for a book, be it Western paperbacks or the Doc Savage books. No one can beat James Bama on his attention to detail. The monsters, All these are my childhood copies. All these right here. Some of these are first prints. Some of them aren't. Um, Again, you pay more if it's the first print. The Deadly Dwarf, the Sargasso Ogre, which is just a phenomenal cover.
It's a beautiful cover.
Yeah, it's a great one right here. The Red Skull, Doc Savage.
Hmm.
This is another good one. Pirate of the Pacific. This is the first print, and this is about a $40 book. Out in the wild, believe it or not. Those are some of my favorites. The Men Who Shook the Earth, another great one, another great Bama cover. The Midas Man, which is pretty cool. And let's see, another nice one, The Vanisher. But I've got the whole run of Doc Savage books finally. I don't have any of the pulps, but I finally finished my run. Got the full set, even the Doc doubles, which look like this, which are very expensive and hard to find. Towards the end, the books got very thin, the original pulp, so they put them in what they call Doc doubles or the omnibus. And this was the last Doc double that I needed. Here are the omnibuses, what they look like. They're pretty thick with multiple stories within the book. And this is another omnibus here, the very first one. And switching gears real quick, it was hard to pick books. It was crazy trying to figure that out. Again, like Graphic Man mentioned, a big fan of the westerns. Zane Grey is my guy. So we've got original hardbacks from the 20s.
Nice.
Wild Horse Mesa. I just want to go show a few. I got so many of them, but Forlorn River, these are some of my favorites. Sunset Pass. The Border Legion, one of my favorites. Zane Grey is just phenomenal. If you ever read one of his books, you'll know what the time frame was. Arizona Ames, Zane Grey, the Rainbow Trail. Madison's Ranchero, kind of a continuation from Nevada, but not really, but it kind of is. That connection there. One of my favorite books, Nevada. This one and Light Under Western Stars are my favorite Zane Grey books and two of my favorite novels. So, Thunder Mountain, Zane Grey. That's all that I have for this showing of our books. I can go on and on and on, but that's all I got for right now.
Steve, I don't know if you or anyone else can answer Jackson's question here.
There is, I have that magazine. There are several art books that are for James Bama. One of the ones is The Realistic Painter or something like that. Something towards that vein. It's out of print, but you can buy it used. And also, I just got this. It's called the Torn Shirt Sessions. It's got the Steve Holland model for Doc. And in the book, it's got Steve Holland and the portrayal of James Bama's art. And there's
He looks like Eric a little.
like there's Bama's art next to Steve Holland of what Bama did. There's like a 32 illustrations with Bama in this. But there are several art books. To answer your question, yeah, there are several art books that feature Bama's stuff. A lot of Indian paintings, Western paintings, horse paintings. and there's a few spattering of Doc.
You have any Louis L'Amour?
Mm-mm. No, Zane Grey is my guy. I touched on Louis L'Amour. I'm just stuck with Zane Grey. Nothing against Louis. I just reasons of having places to put the books and money and everything else. I just stuck with Zane Grey.
All right. Well, hey, that was look good.
Yeah.
Well, Gratu, how you doing?
Yeah, how you doing, Ken?
Kind of got a headache, but I'm all right. I guess you all know, but people out there may not know that Steve Holland, the model for Doc Savage, also played Flash Gordon in the 50s in a TV show. You can probably see on YouTube. It's public domain. Well, let's see. I just pulled some stuff off the rack like Graphic Man predicted I would do because I was in a hurry. I actually forgot it was Wednesday. Here's a novel. Here's an attempt to turn the challengers of the unknown into pulp heroes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that cover.
So it's
very
not,
cool.
It's not panels; it's actual text. It's even got a cigarette ad. They did this a lot in the 70s, kind of like a Mark Jewelers kind of thing. So yeah, it's from 1977. That's a natural thing. I mean, they seem like pulp heroes. And speaking of pulps, there's the daughter of Fu Manchu.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's cool.
Shang-Chi's father, at least in the real comics. Got William Shakespeare on the back.
Shakespeare with the Spock eyebrow.
And then the Man from Uncle books. I've got some Get Smart ones too. I've got a lot. I don't have all the Man from Uncle, but then of course there are also these Dark Shadows books.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so they on DC some of their gothic horror, or one of their gothic horror books in the early 70s. They try to do this kind of oval border, I think, to try to make it look like it's a Dark Shadows book. That may not be appropriate. It's Cozy Up with Cozy Books. It's Desire Under the Palms. Like, it's probably not a good book. It's probably inappropriate. Okay, let's see what else I got here. This has got some kind of damage to it. Anyway, this is the book that Soylent Green came from.
Oh, yeah.
1999, population 35 million in New York City. That's that.
That's a great cover.
That's what circa 1965 kind of science fiction effects. That's what I see at night when I try to drive. Now, maybe now I can explain to my wife I don't like to drive at night. That's what I freaking see.
Ay, caramba.
There's E.E. Doc Smith version of the Lensman series, which is where the Green Lantern comes from, is the Lensman series.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's the same basic premise. It was an open secret that's what DC was doing. I mean, people that were around then knew. Let's see.
Well, that's interesting.
Here's one of the only good things that came out of the two good things that came out of the 1976 King Kong. Where the local TV station Channel 8 WFAA in primetime ran the original King Kong, which I'd never seen, and then this showed up at like the Skaggs Albertsons, which is the novelization, the original novelization.
I think it's James Bama did that cover, I think.
Okay. And then a few months later, another version came out. So I guess it was public domain, possibly. I don't know, but the Frazetta cover that he recycled, because I think that she comes from an eerie or creepy cover, and he just changed the monster to King Kong. So, Okay. The strangest people in the world. Graphic man could probably take this book and then like put illustrations of us in the little cartoon.
Yeah.
Someone that foretold the sinking of the Titanic. Incredible. He breathed fire.
That's cool.
This is I don't know. What
That's
else?
cool.
Oh, okay. I've got 3 different versions of the same book. With this, this is where Buck Rogers came from. This book, the comic strip, was inspired by this book.
That was the first story.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, here's another version.
Armageddon 2419. Wow.
And then there's this version that I remember seeing in the bookstore in the late 70s.
Is he called Buck Rogers in that? I mean, it's the character and everything.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Wasn't he started out with a different name though? I thought, and then he became Buck Rogers.
Is that how it works? I haven't read this in decades.
I think that he had his first name was different.
Okay.
I haven't read it either, but I think that's what.
Let's see. I'm just flipping through. I keep seeing the name Hans.
Man.
See Rogers. I know what is in your mind. Yeah, it's definitely Rogers. I'll have to read it. Sorry.
Looking forward.
This is probably my favorite of the Harvey Kurtzman Mad paperbacks, because to me this is the one that's got the greatest stuff. It's got the Mickey Mouse parody, Howdy Doody. It's got
It's got Howdy Doody in there.
The Howdy Doody parody. It just seems like, does it have the Archie one in it? It's got the Batman parody. I don't know, because just the Mickey rodent parody when I was a kid, that just blew my mind. And there's Vampirella paperbacks. We just recycled the covers. Seems like they put these back in print. It's soon to be a major motion picture. That never happened.
That cover looks a little bit like the original model.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, it's
From number 53.
definitely a Latin model. That would have been great if Hammer had done a Vampirella movie, but it just didn't happen. Ron Goulart. And I can see this has another one of those cigarette ads in it. That they, the thing about paperbacks, I'm completely retentive. I'll read it like I'll hold it like this, and then I'll turn it like that, so I don't break the spine. I don't like creases on the spine. Of course, these aren't my original books, but I tend to buy books that don't have those creases. It drives me crazy. So I feel like the original owner of this book, they didn't read it the correct gratu way. It was twisted. An Unholy Bible of Weird Tales by Ray Bradbury, Theodore Sturgeon, and others. Even got Stephen Crane in it. Ambrose Bierce, Poe. Here's a 1974 Flash Gordon paperback. Look at that monster.
That's cool.
Wow.
See, looks a little like Steve Holland there.
Yeah.
Dang. Looks like the Democratic Convention, doesn't it?
Okay.
This is Dig That Crazy Grave.
Oh, I love Shel Scott books.
Man, she had a shape to make corpses kick open caskets, and she was dead set on giving me rigor mortis. Death is just around the corner. Your name is Shell Scott, and you're a private detective with a nose for trouble and an eye for dames. That's me all over. How could someone not have bought this book when it came out? Well, there's over 26 million copies of Shell Scott books in print. But they never did. They ever make a movie?
No.
I don't think so. Here's a Matt Helm book. Then I'll have to go grab some more. The books were more serious than the Dean Martin movies, but although the Dean Martin movies were wonderful, they were a completely different animal.
That Buck Rogers, I think he started out as William Rogers.
Okay. Well,
William
Buck is
Rogers.
probably a nickname anyway. It's not a.
Yeah, right.
No one names their kid Buck. Well, maybe somebody does.
Or Harrington.
Graphic, your mic's off.
Uh-oh.
And it still is.
There you go.
There he is.
Do you mind if I go next?
I will, but I want to tell Grau too. Thank
Sure.
you for showing those. And last week when I said you go grab those, I was hoping you would. It wasn't derogatory at all.
But
I enjoyed them. Yeah.
I got some great books, but they'd be too heavy to haul up here.
Okay. Yeah, we haven't heard from Eric in a long time. Let's get right to Eric.
All right. Well, let's see. I'm trailing Hans by about 14. I have one.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
Actually, I've got two. I might have brought one of them down. I might have more in the garage.
You got 15? That's the one I'm missing.
I don't think that was, but okay. Yeah, Bell, Book, and Candle. One of my favorite movies.
That's one of my favorite movies too.
Watch it every Christmas. Let's see. We've got a couple Perry Masons here. So, DA takes a chance. Case of the Black-Eyed Blonde.
boy.
Well, yeah, he had to tell her twice. Are we still on?
Yes.
Never kill a cop.
Good advice.
And let's see. Okay, yeah, it's from we just saw this department, the ambushers, the Murderers Row, the Wrecking Crew, and you're all invited to join me in the Matt Helm Lounge after the stream.
That's cool.
Let's see. We've got some Mickey Spillane's here. One Lonely Night.
Nice bandage cover.
Vengeance is Mine. My gun is quick.
That's what she said.
Again, and that's why she never saw him again. And the Corey, Eye of the Jury.
Nice.
Yeah, somebody mentioned Tennessee Williams earlier. Sweet Bird of Youth.
Got this on Amazon.
Suddenly Last Summer.
That was a great song.
It was. Good movie, too. Fugitive Kind.
Got sexy covers.
The Roman Spring of Mrs. Stone. Night of the Iguana.
Oh, that was another great film.
Yes, it was. A couple of film adaptations here real quick. Let's see. How to Murder Your Wife.
that was another great. Those are all great movies.
I loved it. Dr. Strange Love.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, another one.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
Peter Sellers was so great.
Our Man in Havana. Would have preferred an Anne Margaret cover, but Kitten with a Whip.
Hmm.
And real quick, said a couple. Bring back the lesbian fiction part of the program. Alone at Night by Vin Packer, who was actually a woman named Mary Jane Meeker, who I just discovered is still alive at 94.
Wow.
And this was kind of the one that put that genre on the map.
Spring Fire.
So that'll do it for this round.
There you go. He's wearing a hat now. Now we all got hats, except for two. Well,
Okay, you're muted, buddy.
Yeah, Michael, you got the mute on.
This whole time I've been muted. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You were laying out some knowledge and we missed it.
I was teaching Euclidean geometry. Yeah. All right.
Want to see? You want to see some of the ones I pulled out, or somebody else want to go?
Surely, let's go right to you.
Here's Tea and Sympathy. I think it's from 1956. 25 cents. James Purdy, the nephew. War. Philip McDonald, Warrant for X.
Nice.
Earl de Briggers, the Chinese parrot. Pretty nice shape for him. Oh, I don't think you want to see that one. No. I just grabbed a bunch of these. I don't even know what's in there, but there's a Beetle Bailey, Walker, all from the newspaper strips. Andy Cap, another Andy Cap. I don't think I can show that one. No, I can't show that one because that guy's got his pee-pee hanging out there.
What kind of book is that?
Well, it's art, but it's still got his pee-pee hanging there. I don't want to show that. Here's The Trouble with Lazy Ethel. Ernest E. Gann. Oh, this is another one by James Purdy. I love this book here.
Malcolm,
yeah. I think he was inspired to write this book by Voltaire's Candide. Agatha Christie, The Mysterious Spirits. Yes, it is. Oh, Somerset Maugham, Cake Snail. This is really beat up, but I love the artwork on the cover. I can't show that. On camera. Oh. A Fortune in Dimes. Mary Carter. The Black Camel, another one by Earl de Biggers. Ah, here's a nice cover. Sweet Murder, 15 cents.
Sweet.
Look at that needle. It's a drug cover. 15 cents.
Dr. Fauci write that?
Yeah.
That's Dr. Fauci doing his wife. Doing his wife the dirty.
Or was he the deadly dwarf that Doc Savage fought?
Yeah.
Tanner's Tiger, Lawrence Block. And, oh, I got some more here. Let's see what this is. Bonjour, Trickster. Whatever the hell that is, I don't know. The House on Q Street. Wasn't this a movie? Does anybody know?
No.
Is that the one that they made the movie with God, what's her name? The Big Valley, Barbara Stanwyck. They just changed the title.
It could be. It sounds Hitchcockian. The House on Q Street. I'll have to research that. Here we got the Wee Pals. God is groovy. What else I got there? Oh, speaking of Alfred Hitchcock. Alfred Hitchcock's Happiness is a Warm Corpse. This was a great movie, The Bad Seed.
Oh, yeah. The ending was funny.
Monsanto.
Drum Beat Madrid. Marlowe, what time is it? Yeah, I got one more here. Painted Veil. Set Marlon again. Well, that's all what I was able to pull out.
So,
All right.
Hans, you mentioned Lawrence. You showed a Lawrence Block a minute ago.
Yeah.
Was he the one with Donald Westlake that in the Westlake in the late 50s they wrote books together under the name Sheldon Lord? Do I have that right? Do you know?
I'm not familiar with that.
Because two guys, I think it was those two, wrote kind of lurid novels in the late 50s and early 60s that they didn't want to take credit for, so they used the pseudonym.
Well, no, if that's true, that's something I don't know about Lawrence Block. Then
I'm going to have to see if I can pull that up.
Yeah, Paul, see that. I haven't heard that.
I thought that was a snake.
No,
What?
A snake, man. Looks like a cobra.
Steve's a charmer.
Yeah.
It's not a snake.
No.
well, before we go back to Grot 2, Jambo, you have anything else?
I got a few price guides if you guys want to see some of the covers.
Yeah,
of those.
sure. They're always cool.
Got this little thing. It's just one of those I have.
It's kind of an off-brand one.
83.
Yeah, it's not an Overstreet. Some of these just had great covers. I mean, that was a Will Eisner.
That was the first one I bought. I think I ruined my eyes that summer reading that over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one after that one, I bought for my first one in '77. First one.
Carl Barks.
Yeah.
And just cool. And most of them was original for the guides, too. It was all original art.
Oh, yeah.
There's a great Bill Ward.
Oh, that's a nice.
It was my favorite.
Okay.
This is before they had 4 different covers for each year.
Yeah.
He's got his girl Torchy and Phantom Lady, and Sheena, Wonder Woman, Bullet Girl.
Is that an Overstreet guide?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's number 8. Yeah, this is the Wally Wood one.
Oh, yeah.
And I always loved opening them up. In the center of the older ones here, they had a color section of just some of the covers on some of the old books and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's a great Schomburg.
Schomburg, yeah.
Mhm.
Really cool.
To add to lead paint here, and we always ran to X-Men 94 to see how much it jumped in price and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's a Cole.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Me and Bub was in a shop in southern Kentucky, and I was going through some of their old price guides. They had a copy of this, and I was like, I don't need that one, Bub. You need it? And he said, yeah, I don't have that one. He took it home and opened it up, and it was signed by L.B. Cole.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it was cool for him.
Yeah.
13.
C'est la vie.
Yeah. Infinity cover, I guess. There's Katie Keene. I got just a couple more here. Number 16. Marvel Anniversary. Not sure who did that cover. Guessing probably Ramita. Nice Superman.
Yeah.
That's a Cole also. See it down there.
Wow.
Doing Superman.
Gary Robinson. That's
Mhm.
awesome.
That's it on those. I won't bore you with any more of them.
That's far from boring.
Yeah,
No.
that's
Those are
awesome.
awesome.
I just dig
Yeah,
them.
those
Yeah,
are-
I mean, I always bought them every year because, I mean, I still buy them. You know, I've got them complete from there on up.
Of course, I buy the giant size, large print ones now for.
I've got a few of those, the really big ones, but they don't have all the covers in them. At least the ones I have, the copies I have, they don't have all the covers and stuff inside them. They just have the comics and the prices and stuff like that, which is cool. But yeah, I liked all the artwork inside also. Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jambo. Were you going to say something?
I was just going to say, yeah, he didn't get it authenticated or anything. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was probably me. All right, Gratu, what else you got for us?
I was just thinking it's really a shame that those artists were alive and they were not being utilized by the comics industry.
Yeah.
Just, I mean,
Yeah.
tragedy. Well, this was Hal Elson was a writer of juvenile delinquent literature, and he was like a social worker or a therapist at Bellevue, and so he'd have these juvenile delinquents just. They knew he wasn't going to report them to the police. They'd just tell their stories and just keep going. And then he'd turn them into books. And Frederick Wortham was a big fan of his because I guess it proved that, he was right, that, the kids were all turning into these monstrous juvenile delinquents. And so he even wrote the introduction to
No
this
kidding.
book.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, I think I used to think that Hal Ellison was a pseudonym for Harlan Ellison, but it's not. It's a different guy. Harlan Ellison did write some juvenile delinquent books, and one of them, he claims that he was in his early 20s or whatever, and he joined a teenage juvenile delinquent gang and learned how to make zip guns and stuff with homemade guns. And, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But, okay, what else do we have? This is A.E. Van Gogh Monsters, edited and with an introduction by Forrest J. Ackerman.
Forey. He's still alive, isn't he?
That's creepy.
Forrest Ackerman, no, he passed away over 10 years ago, I think.
He did?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, he was up in the 90s.
Yeah, it was like 94 or something.
Yeah. Okay, here's a creepy paperback that I got back probably in 7th grade. It's done like the Mad, and there were EC paperbacks too that printed sideways. Backwards. So it's basically done in that format, but yeah. I missed the first like half hour. When I tuned in, I was hearing the sound, but I was driving, so I don't know if this Shadow book was shown.
Oh, that's cool. I don't have that one. That's cool.
Strikes.
It's an earlier one. This probably is 10 years older than when Steranko was doing the covers. And
Yeah.
was that around 75, 76?
Mm-hmm.
Steranko was doing that. So, yeah, I've always loved the Shadow. This is a lot of fun. It's a Harvard Lampoon that later, some of the guys that worked on the Harvard Lampoon later created the National Lampoon, but you guys know that. But this is parts of this are almost word for word, paragraph by paragraph parody of Lord of the Rings. I mean, it's just one book, but it's really hilarious. Right down to the aping of the illustration that used to be on the 60s Lord of the Rings books.
Yeah. I think I've got one or two of those.
Biker guy. Okay. It's a little new.
Yeah, I used to love the whole Lord of the Rings, the trilogy, and the Hobbit, but today you couldn't get me to read that for anything. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, I really love those Lord of the Rings movies, and then they stretched The Hobbit, which was a little short children's book.
Yeah.
3-4 hour long movies, and it just was. It was like they destroyed.
Yeah, they destroyed it.
I don't know. I mean, it's not as. I mean, I can still
appeal
pretend
isn't
that
there.
Star Wars is just 3 movies. I guess I could do that with Lord of the Rings and completely ignore the prequels or the Disney sequels. This is a cool book. Speaking of Star Wars, this is where most of it came from.
Guide to the
And this is a cool Guide to Barsoom by John Flint Roy. That's not exactly how these guys are described, but it's a cool illustration.
Boris, yeah.
So it's worth getting. This is a Beatles knockoff. The famous rock and roll group played cool songs to kindle hot passions, and their young fans wouldn't deny them anything. That's pretty good likeness of them.
You play guitar left-handed. That's funny.
Oh, here's their name. I guess you got Corey Walker, the leader of the quartet. He plays I shouldn't read this. Some of it's inappropriate. This would. We can only wish that he was president.
Oh yeah.
I think prices would be cheaper. We wouldn't have any supply chain problems, but I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Wouldn't you rather be hearing him give press conferences?
Well, we don't even know who the president really is, do we?
Yeah, that's true.
He doesn't either.
Yeah, he doesn't either.
They lived on human flesh.
Oh, that's cool.
I guess
Yeah, that's lovely,
laugh
Steve.
at this because this
Great.
is a true story. But
Oh yeah,
story.
Very
So,
cool.
I think you guys looked at this because when I turned on the show, you already showed this, right?
Earthman on Venus. I think.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I got the comic book.
Right, but this is the one. This has already been shown, right? I figured.
Was that the same one? Was that this, or is that a different cover?
I don't know because I
Who
was
showed that?
just hearing words. I wasn't seeing anything.
I thought Steve showed that.
Mm-mm.
Was
No,
it
I
the
had
same
one
edition?
earlier.
Someone
Or
did.
Jambo.
I
It
heard-
was Jambo.
Was that the
was it
same one?
edition?
Yeah, I think it's the same one, but that's
Oh,
a
okay.
cool cover.
I like this: the monster ants and the Cupid doll princess and the lost scientist.
The Lost Scientist.
You tell it's
Great
fine
stuff.
literature when they put that on the back cover. Here's the Addams Family novelization,
All right.
one of the greatest shows of all time. Here's Get Smart.
Oh, yeah,
They had their series of books, just like Man from U.N.C.L.E. had.
yeah, yeah.
This is the third one.
Oh, great TV show.
Here's a weird thing. The Red Sonja that Robert E. Howard created is nothing like what later, it was like some kind of Russian thing in a whole different time period. So Roy Thomas created the chainmail wearing barbarian girl. And so then there are novelizations from that. So it's just kind of weird how things bounce around back and forth.
Yeah, look, she's wearing it.
So this is the Marvel Red Sonja that is being used in this book. And then when Marvel lost the rights to Robert E. Howard, somehow the version that Roy Thomas created went with Robert E. Howard's stuff, and now it's being done by this whatever company is doing them now. I always like this. This is just a wonderful illustration, Boris Vallejo. Just very, but you know, they had to. That movie was terrible, and they were going to make one with Rose McGowan, but that was years ago, and that never happened. For Famous Monsters, Filmland Strike Back.
That's cool.
I like Rose McGowan.
Yeah, she would have been okay, but she was having an affair with Robert Rodriguez, and he was going to make the movie with her, and then I guess his wife slapped him back to reality. And so you're not going to make a movie with that husband. So he said, "Okay, I guess I'm not." This is a childhood book. I think I got it from Scholastic Books. It's just a
cool.
monster. You know, that when your teacher brings little forms for you to order books from, and your mother writes a check. I don't know if you had that same experience.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So that's what that is.
It was always great when they brought the books in that day. The books you ordered. That was a great day.
Yeah, that's one of the only things that made school worthwhile.
Yeah.
I like this kind of writing. Into the thrice-fired hell of Yob Haggoth strode the yellow-haired giant of the north, Brack the barbarian. A fantastic adventure in the age of blood.
John Jakes.
That looks like Frazetta on the cover there.
Now, if you didn't see the title and you just saw that picture, who would you think that is?
Conan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks a little like Boris Karloff, though, too.
Yeah,
Like
kind of
does. He's an outcast, a fortune hunter, a mighty swordsman battling Septagundus, Amir of evil, whose very flesh was etched with humans writhing in torment. Ariane, honey-voiced snare of the devil, the Darter boys, from whose fingertips burst agonizing pain and green crimson beams. Doomdog, Fanfish, Tumuk, the thing which crawls. Excuse me.
You got to read that book, man.
Yeah, I don't know how you could put this back on the rack. And so Time Tunnel was actually a book first.
Did not know that.
And now there's this thing that's I don't know, what is this CERN stuff? The scientists have something that looks like the time tunnel, and it's like it's like a tunnel down into basically the center of the earth. It's not a conspiracy theory. There's something called CERN, and they're trying to get. Do you know what that is?
Well, they claim they're going to make all kinds of cool stuff, and they're going to mess around with some sort of particle. I forget what it's called, the hydrocon or whatever.
And blow up the earth.
Well, that's the danger. Yeah.
Well, the thing about the CERN thing,
here it
the
is,
other night when they had that horrible tragedy down in Houston with all those people being trampled, the thing behind that wrapper was an exact replica of the CERN thing, which looks like the time tunnel. It's like something weird's going. All these conspiracy theories are all over the internet, TikTok, and they got these weird conspiracy. There are even Drudge reports reporting on it. All these crazy people are thinking it's some kind of satanic ritual. And
well, don't worry. A lot of the parts needed to build that are in those cargo ships off the coast of California, so we should be safe for a while.
Here's Ayn Rand. This is title. First time in book form. Compare it. Member price.
Hey, that's Ayn Rand.
That's probably from Kmart, I think. Yeah, she looks very mysterious. Anyway,
I love Ayn Rand.
Yeah, I do enjoy reading her. I don't think it's politically correct to like her, though. Here's more Boris Vallejo. I have never read this book. I think I might have bought it for the cover, but someday I'll read it, possibly. It's the 5th book in the Extraordinary World of Tears series. Have you guys read this?
Yeah, the Tears series is pretty good. Howler Mouse turned me on to that. I read the first 2 books.
See, that's the worst part of it, though, that thing.
Yeah.
I try not to get books that have that on them. Let's see what else. A Walk with the Beast.
Oh, that's cool.
Creatures of Horror and Classic Tales of Terror.
She's got some
if
sexy legs.
If was president and this was vice president, I'd be happy. I could die happy. There's nothing on the back. And The Not Men. Actually, it looks like a guy I know. This is the terrifying story of a grotesque but superior race that threatens to wipe out all mankind, not somewhere in the future, but right here and now.
Wow.
So that's all I got here.
Well, those were fantastic. They really were. I thought they were great.
They're awesome.
Very good.
Yeah.
I hope they were PG enough.
I like that.
Well, I've shown everything I was going to show. All I got rest over here is stuff I wrote. No one wants to see that. So,
actually, why not?
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
I think people would be interested in your books. Let's see your. Come on.
Well, all right. They're theologically based. So here's a hymn. Well, our fans may
well, yeah, all the Satan worshipers out there, but we're all okay here.
So
wow, that's a thick book.
Yeah.
You wrote that?
Oh yeah.
Very cool.
But every now and then I got some color pictures, so I try.
Dang.
But here's a hardback, the True Standard.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
the YTP is my logo. That stands for Yours Truly Publication.
You know, you've probably written more than most college professors.
So I have this guy, Dr. Newlight. He thinks he's going to help me write this because he's so impressive, but he's totally wrong all the time. So that's like a phone book as well. But they're
are these on Amazon or are they available for purchase?
No. This was the paperback of that. So I designed the covers. So
that's neat.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very cool.
anyway, and let's see. I did a commentary on the book of Ezekiel because it is the probably most craziest, wildest book
I'll say.
you'll ever read. But
I've read that several times, Ezekiel.
so
Knock.
I made it into a hardback, but the title is a mouthful. The prophetic nature of the Song of Solomon and Ezekiel. So, but
Very, very cool.
I did a commentary on Genesis, and so we have a canopy around the earth back when it was created, and because of this image on my other channel, the Infinite Wisdom of YouTube, they thought I was teaching flat Earth. So they had a little warning on my channel for the longest time. But anyway, and there's the hardback of the Genesis. So almost done. I did a commentary on Revelation, and but chock full of images. So because I'm very graphic for some reason, I'm very graphic. My funniest one is when the scholars get embarrassed about all the weird stuff that's in the Bible, they put a bag on their head. So I'm making fun of them, and that's about as professional as I make it look. There's good old me giving a lecture, and some of the there's poor Dr. Newlight's embarrassed about my writing another book. So I've done commentaries on Hosea and, of course, Micah. You know, I had to do that. And did a commentary on Isaiah. So
That's impressive. Wow, you have a big body of work there.
yeah.
Yeah, J.D. Salinger only wrote one book. Harper Lee.
Yeah, one book.
That's very cool.
Who else has something to? Have we exhausted everything? Or?
I've got a couple, but nothing to compare to what we just seen.
Jackson, I am literature lad. What was it, Jambo?
Got a couple. It's nothing compared to what we've seen. It's nothing biblical. But
Oh yeah, I got that.
Shatner. So.
And into space he went.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. The Fortress of the Pearl. Man. Oh, wow.
Boy.
This one was cool.
Very neat.
This one had another Michael Whalen cover.
Wow, yeah, where do you get these off the stands or use bookstores?
A lot of them I bought in bookstores. And
Wow, I can't find them. They're like hen's teeth around here. Wow.
yeah, you just don't see them that much anymore.
Yeah.
You used to could go into the bookstores and find the old doll books that, you know, the Moorcock stuff, but you just don't see them anymore. And I mean, you could go in there and all these came from used bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some Moorcock. It's the original Jewel in the Skull. There's the...
I've seen that image many times, yeah.
Impressive, yeah.
Mad God's Amulet.
You got a nice collection, man.
Yeah, at one point I was trying to get all these books, and I got a pretty good lot of them.
Yeah, I think I came into the game too late because Howler Mouse turned me on to him a few years ago to Elric, and just kind of late in the game, I think.
Yeah, that Elric series and the Quorum series.
Yeah.
Always my favorite two of the Champion Eternal he did. And I was always fascinated with his writing. He had such a vivid imagination.
Agreed.
That's all I got, man. Sorry.
Okay. I was typing away.
I got a few more.
All right, Eric.
First I said Sheldon Lord was Donald Westlake, Lawrence Block, Peter Hochstein, and Milo Ericic. So apparently it took a lot of people to make Sheldon Lord. All right, so let's see. Phantom Detective by Robert Wallace.
Cool. That's neat.
Got a handful of old Mike Shane mysteries here.
Oh, yeah. Nice cover.
Dale book.
Shoot the Works. There's Fit to Kill. Marked for Murder. Before I Awake.
Well, she's awake, obviously. Come on.
In this class,
she was having a nightmare.
In this class, the students taught the professor. Night School.
Oh.
Waterfront.
For extra credit.
We all know what that was. We all know what that evolved into.
Yeah.
There's a couple other movie ones here. Spy Who Came In for a Cold One.
Uh-huh.
All right, that was the Cheers episode.
Yeah.
Couple of old Bond books.
Cool.
It's nice.
Live and Let Die. Goldfinger. Let's see. Bullet.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, one of my favorite movies that I really never want to see again. On the Beach.
On the beach. On the beach. On the beach.
I said that just got more depressing as it went on.
Have you seen the movie The Road?
No.
It's about after a nuclear war, and this dad and I think his two sons, or maybe one son, are trying to get to the coast.
Kind of depressing, yes.
Basically to die. And it's just, it's depressing. And they find a nice house, but the people in there are cannibals now. And like there's one vehicle that's kind of halfway able to move in this future world. It's really depressing.
Is that more depressing than an entire country lining up to get their suicide pills?
Yeah, get their suicide pills.
I mean, that's not exactly an upbeat ending.
Yeah. There was a Star Trek episode kind of like that, where they had a war and you just like, well, you've been blown up. Go report to your vaporization little place. More and more stuff from Star Trek comes into our reality.
Here's something on a happy note.
I have that. That's
not allowed.
Cover.
It's kind of a girly book. I don't know where I picked these up. I think I picked these up at the Germain flea market, for like $4. There's 3 of these books. This is from 1963 and 1962.
Yeah.
And 1961. It's got water damage, but I only paid like, I don't know, under $5 for all 3 books. So I thought
so you don't have the beach blanket boingo or what that one movie is there.
I got comic books. Beach blanket bingo.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
This is another great book by George Corey,
Oh yeah.
Comic Book Fever.
Yep. Good stuff.
He signed it for me up there.
Oh.
Very cool.
Cool. Yeah.
So,
Very nice.
it's a great book. Very nostalgic. The reason why I collect comic books.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's good chapters in here on Harvey Comics. And all the great stuff that that a lot of times you don't hear anything about, you know. It's just too bad sometimes that a lot of these great classic companies are gone, like Harvey. But there's no market for them anymore, I guess. Yeah. It's a changing culture of the country.
Well, people don't read.
You're right.
No, they got computers, right? TV screens.
Yeah, video games and Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
You know, finding a book with an autograph in it made me think a good theme might be like surprises that you found in comic books or books that you bought in the past. Because I found a few surprises opening up old bags. I found one today, but I found a few months ago, there was a copy of Lady Death. I open it up and a photograph of this terrified looking girlfriend falls out of it. It looks like she's about to be killed. And then today it's X Factor number 42, and it's like this autographed Polaroid of this guy with this big 90s hair posed next to some topless porn star. Out of this X Factor. That's where he's going to keep it hidden, I guess, from his parents, but then he sold it. Someone named Keisha. It's like, I don't know. What have you guys found? Like, have you found weird stuff?
I found a Polaroid like that I could never show on here. Ended up
And
tossing
what?
it out. It was somebody's in a comic. I just opened up this comic I'd bought. I can't remember if I got it at a shop or what, you know, and I had it for a little while before I decided to read it. And I popped it open and it fell out. So that, and then I found a old bookmark that somebody had drawn a picture of a nude woman. It looked like it had been done from like the 30s or the 40s, and that was in a comic also. And yeah,
I've never been as lucky.
I still have that, but yeah, I didn't keep the picture.
You know, you collect.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, Jambo collects the Jungle comics like I do, the Golden Age Jungle comics.
Yeah.
I've come across several where obviously the kids were drawing in there, and I got one where a kid is, well, I don't know if I should mention it on this channel, but he's drawing male body parts, you know, towards the Sheena, towards her female body. And I'm looking at, what the hell? He ruined the comic. But it, you know, in a way, you know, it tells a story about what must have been going through their mind,
You know,
at the time of puberty, you know.
here in a couple of weeks, I'm probably going to take a few weeks off for the holidays, and Gratu has graciously offered to host you lovely fossils. I recommend you hold off on all your little drawn porn books and show them on his channel here in a couple of weeks.
I don't know if we could do that.
I got to remember when I signed up for this StreamYard plan, because I don't want to keep doing it. It's just because I hardly ever use it, and it's like $25, $26 a month. And if you get free 20 hours a month, I'm not even using that. I need to like figure that out, because these are not times of, you know, a lot of money.
It's rough. It's rough.
Jambo, I didn't send you a link because you wrote to me saying you wouldn't be here.
I think that was
So-
from last week or the week before, maybe. But
Really?
I believe.
So I'm replying back to y'all. It's too bad. Oh, take care and all that. Yeah.
It's all good. I think it was the week that nobody showed up. It was the
Oh,
week I
okay.
took off.
Yeah. Yeah, we had puppets on. Yeah, that was
right,
great.
right.
Well,
I
there's
think it was just
somebody.
you and Eric most of the night, I believe.
Yeah.
Puppets and frogs.
It was entertaining. I watched it. Yeah, I watched it on the replay. It was pretty cool.
So
We
the
dare
guy
to
that
be
was
different.
on, Eric, one of the guys that was reading the Hostess ads the other day was Puppeteen, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Pixel is Puppeteen.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, by the way, Gratu, I was getting a kick out of your rendition of Cadbury, the butler.
Oh.
And then I was trying not to chuckle because, man, he sounds really cool. That's kind of the voice I would expect Cadbury to have. And I start to, hopefully I'm not quivering in my voice, and then I'm reading Richie Rich, and the guys start laughing. I think, am I sounding like a dork? I don't know what's going on, but it was a blast.
Well, that's something to. There are, using comics that are in public domain might, and then doing voices for them. Maybe I've seen people do that where they kind of halfway animate them and they have sound effects and music and they've turned it into a whole production. That might be a cool thing to do sometime.
Yeah.
You guys
It
made
is.
me go out and get this. I picked this up today, actually. I don't know if did you have this Gratu? Did you?
Yeah, I
this
got it last week or the week before. Or
cover. Yeah, it's Sheena, so I had to grab it.
Yeah, I may not continue with it, but yeah.
Yeah, the insides are probably real stinker. Then I got that too. The Gun Honey. There's, I think Eric said it was pretty decent.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess that's what sells, huh? Those covers like that.
Yeah, I mean it is, and I normally don't fall for it, but I mean that one there, I think it was going up in price, and people were, other people were saying it was pretty good story too. So I thought, well, nice cover, and if the story's decent, then hey, it might be worth checking out.
Diamond got hacked. Some hacker screwed them up, so all the independent books didn't hit the stores, and it may take till next week before they hit. And some stores still have Diamond delivering the Marvel books, so they didn't get Marvel, like Lone Star, mycomicshop.com. That's how I first found out about it. They had a warning. They were only going to get DC books in this week. But the store I was at had got Marvel and DC because they get Marvel separately. So, but they didn't get the independent. So
maybe DC hacked it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Diamond is probably going to fold, I think in a couple of years anyway, unless they sell. Image is going to go its own way. I mean, what are they going to have? Action figures and toys?
Yeah, just the overpriced action figures and toys and stuff.
The whole comic industry could
Steve
fold.
Jeppy, is he the one
that's
still
true?
owns that?
It's possible.
Yeah, Diamond, Steve Jeppy.
I wouldn't miss it. There's still enough old comics that I could never buy them all. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say, as I don't know, as a parting before we close here, I want to show this book here. This is probably the best book that I've had on American pop culture. Hell, since 1966. I've always said that 66 was the peak year of American culture. For me, it was anyway. It's got a foreword by Adam West and an introduction by Nancy Sinatra.
That's a cool book.
The coolest year in pop culture history. I think that's when America reached its zenith for pop culture was 66, and then it started a decline 67, and I think music had a lot to do with it too, the changing attitudes of people with the music that was coming out. But I don't know.
I think this has been one of the better shows. I was a little concerned. I don't know if we'll get too many viewers because it's books, but no, it was great stuff.
Yeah, it was good.
Some fantastic covers you guys showed, man. There were some.
Yeah, I wish I would have been able to upload a video, one of my own videos, and then tell people about this video, but I just haven't been able to do anything because I've been so busy with remodeling the back porch and the different rooms. My wife needs a room for all her freaking shoes. She's got more shoes than Imelda Marcos. Closet. She's got one bedroom down here. It's nothing but a big closet. But I don't know. I can't complain because I got all this whole basement. It goes from here all the way back, and then I got a room upstairs with my indie stuff.
No, I didn't make it up there, Jerry. I didn't make it to comic book club.
Anyway.
Graphically answer Branko's question real quick. They have their own channel, but the ones that Graphic and Gratu were on is the Eglantine Loves Comics. Every Friday night we do what we call bad comic readings, and that last week was the hostess ads, and it's every Friday at 10
Eastern. Yeah,
it's a hoot. I said, yeah, it's open to fossils and anyone that wants to come on and either display their talent or embarrass themselves or anything in between.
Yeah, I wanted to be on this last one, but I just couldn't do it. I had all this work has been killing me, wearing me out, and I fell asleep.
Well, Captain, you should, because I think Pixel will not be able to attend. So there'll be definitely an opening, and I think Eglantine wants to read Sergeant Fury #1. And if you recall, there's 7 GIs there, I think. So there should be voices to go around. Gabriel Jr., Dino.
Yeah, I think we're doing Sergeant Fury and Sergeant Rock, time permitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I can do some of the German characters if there are any in the book.
I don't remember, but I know Sergeant Fury started off kind of, they'd already jumped ahead and almost won the war. And then they realized we better way back up time-wise and kind of take it easy, which was good because it was lasting over 100 issues.
They were everywhere, every single battle in the war, both against the Japanese and the Germans, or where did they go against the Japanese? I'm trying to think.
Issue number 10, they go to Okinawa. I know that. But
they're there at D-Day, and
yeah, they did the Korean War. They went to Vietnam.
Aged really well too.
Oh yeah.
Well, if he was 30 in World War II, he would only be 50 in 1965 when he joins S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. The kids that read those books in the 60s, their dads were still relatively young and had fought in World War II.
Yeah, that's true.
Good night, Bronco. Poor guys in Israel.
You, buddy.
It's really early in the morning over there.
Where is there?
Israel?
Israel. Oh, right.
And we're about at the 3-hour mark. There's a spider.
That's lovely. Ah.
Is it a yo-yo? Yeah.
Ugh.
Hold on, I got one more.
Oh, boy.
Huh.
the real thing.
Well, I guess we can pull the plug on this. Eric's going to run over to Ash's channel or somebody's, right?
I'm gonna rush to the other half of my Jersey Mike's.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, well-
They're harmless.
Yeah. It's in Chicago, Moran. It can't hurt you. All right, we'll pull the plug and call it a night. Thank you guys. These were great books, all of them. Even Paulo's stuff he was showing us, dynamite. I totally enjoyed it, and I'm serious. I like these are all great. I think we're all bookworms deep down, so we like this stuff. So
It was great. It was really great.
thank you, Spectator, and to all the people in the chat. If I didn't mention your name, I'm sorry, but we appreciate you all for showing up. Good night, Jackson. Good night, Lead Paint.
Not lead paint.
Jerry Smith.
John Boyd.
Basil. Yeah,
Mary
John-
Ellen.
We're all not y'all.
Yeah.
John Boyd.
Good night, Grandpa.
I'll stop. All right, we'll see you. We'll see you next time. I have no idea what we'll talk about, but we never do. And good night. 1, 2, 3. Good night, kids.